Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. In 1846, the United States Army, under the command of Colonel John C. Fremont, conquered Santa Barbara without firing a shot. But for years, resentment smoldered in the hearts of the Barbarinos. And in the winter of 1848, the American brig Elizabeth foundered and sank in a storm off the coast of Santa Barbara. Now, these two events would seem to have no connection, but they definitely had for our story tonight. There are several versions of this incident. This one we call Goodbye 500 Pesos.
I've tried to be fair. But you Barbarinos still resent our being here. My men have been intimidated, beaten, and ambushed.
I am sincerely sorry about the attacks on your men, Captain Lippert. But you must remember, it takes time to make friends. All things have changed. Take time.
Sure, time. That's what you told the last three men who preceded me at this post. What did it get them? Removal. Well, I'm not going to be removed, transferred, or anything else. I'm going to get results. I don't like the situation. I feel as though I were living on the edge of a volcano.
I can assure you, Senor Capitan, there is nothing with my people. Well, I must be on my way. And try not to take each incident too seriously, Senor. You see, the citizens of Santa Barbara want only to live in peace. Adios.
Adios.
Senor de la Guerra is known for his benevolency.
What do you mean?
Oh, he's an old man. He sees nothing but good.
Then you know something. There is a reason for these assaults, huh? A rebellion brewing?
Oh, I will not say yes. I cannot say no. It will take some investigation.
Then investigate. As prefect of Santa Barbara, you're responsible for the people.
I, senor?
Yes.
Oh, it will take a few pieces of gold to discover the plot, if there is a plot.
You find out what's going on, and I'll see that you get more. Much more.
If there's a plan, these little coins should make the tongues sing sweetly.
The well looks good, hey, Manolito?
Papa, I think people from miles and miles around will come over to see our new well.
Now, if we had to wait for the end of the fall, our new well would be ready for use. But it will be difficult to find the right thing.
I think I know where such a thing is to be found, Papa.
A whale?
Yes, by the town near Santa Barbara. It's a brass round pipe, and it's very heavy. I've seen it with my own eyes.
But Manolito, my son, we have no pesos to purchase such a weight.
But it does not belong to anybody, Papa. It was washed ashore when the American ship wrecked by the reef.
Bueno. Make Pepito fast to the cart. We will go see this pipe.
Está bien, Papa. Pepito, vamos a salir. Look, Papa, Doesn't our pipe look beautiful and shiny?
See, it is the most beautiful weight in all California. We will be most proud to show it to our friends.
Oh, most proud, Papa, most proud. Come on, Pepito, pull. We must get home and show our pipe.
Un momento, Manolito. I will give an assist from the back.
Come, Pepito. Move, Pepito, ándale.
Pull. Hiya, Papito.
Pepito,
Pull,
anda.
Manolito.
Burro, camina.
Hiya, Papito. Pull, Manolito.
Anda.
Ay, Pepito.
Arriba, hombre. Camina, no seas burro. Papa! Are you all right?
My leg is caught, Manolito.
Hold on, Papa, hold on.
All right.
Are you all right?
My leg, I cannot move it.
Oh, you were right on Pepito. Pepito and I will take you home, Papa.
You're a good boy, Manolito.
What do you want?
I just come from patrolling the beach. The cannon's missing.
The cannon? Oh, you mean that old brass cannon from the Brig Elizabeth? What are you so excited about? Ain't nothing but an old piece of junk.
Well, it's a cannon that's missing, and the captain ought to know about it.
Go ahead.
Come in. Well?
Begging your pardon, sir. The cannon's missing.
What?
The cannon, sir. The cannon on the beach. It's gone.
Gone? Gone where?
Well, I don't know, sir. It's just missing. It was there yesterday, but today it's... Well, they may be firing it, sir. I mean, if they start turning cannon on us, we're in a bad spot.
Oh, a very bad spot indeed. May mean nothing. But I'm not taking any chances. We've got to get that cannon back. And heaven help those who took it. Let me advise you again. If the missing cannon isn't returned straight away, there will be reprisals. I know that one of you has stolen it. And I know what you plan to do with it. There is no place in Santa Barbara for rebellious thieves. Be warned.
Señor de la Guerra.
Manolito. And how is your good father Enrique?
Oh, not too well. He has a wounded leg. That's why I come to town to get some herbs for his medicine.
Oh, I am distressed. I wondered why he had not been present in the square. But how is it with you?
Oh, fine, I ran into a bit of luck.
Uh-huh.
Why are the people gathering in the town? What do they speak about?
Well, my boy, the Capitan searches for a thief. See, he believes that we of the Pueblo have stolen something. He has promised severe punishment. The townspeople, too, will deal harshly with the guilty one.
And what is this valuable thing they have stolen?
A cannon from its place on the beach. The Capitan suspects a plot.
Cannon? What is a cannon?
A cannon is used in warfare. You see, it shoots a big iron ball of much deadliness.
Oh, what does this instrument look like?
Well, it looks like a round brass pipe.
Round brass pipe?
Round brass pipe. Oh, Dios mío. I did not know.
I didn't know either. And the Americanos, they're very angry. And the townspeople, they threaten with violence.
Now this cannon lies in the mud of the creek. But we did not intend the theft. This you must hasten to tell to the Americano Capitan.
But will he understand?
Tomorrow, you must hasten to the Pueblo. Tell them how innocent we have done wrong.
Will he listen to us, Papa?
The Capitan is a very important person, so he must be wise. He will know that we did no wrong.
I will go see him tomorrow, Papa.
Manolito, tell no one but the Capitan. If the Pueblo should learn of our transgression, we would be with sorry faces.
I won't tell anybody but the Capitan, Papa.
See?
What do you want?
wish to speak to the captain about something very, very important.
What's it about?
I can only speak to the captain.
Oh, yeah? If you want to talk, you can talk to me. Oh. I'm not important enough for you, huh? Well, the captain's busy. You run along and don't be bothering us.
It's very important that I speak to the captain.
Out.
But
Vamoose.
señor, yo
Vamoose.
tengo que hablar al capitán,
And
por favor.
stay out.
Did the Americanos forgive us for our foolishness, Manolito? And he's going to punish us for our transgression.
Papa, I didn't get to speak to the Capitan. The sergeant, he threw me away.
That is not good. The townspeople angry, the Americanos angry. Maybe it is too dangerous to tell what is the truth. Maybe it is safer for us to forget everything, Manolito.
Yes, Papa. I just hope the people of Santa Barbara, they forget it too.
See. See.
Notice, unless the missing cannon is returned by noon tomorrow, each male resident of Santa Barbara of 20 years or older will be assessed a tax of $2.
¿2 pesos?
Until the amount of $500 is collected.
500 pesos.
This tax is occasioned by the refusal of the thieves to come forth, admit their guilt, and return the cannon by order of Francis Lippert, Captain USA. Captain Lippert, this notice of taxation, are you serious?
If all of the Barbarinos are taxed, they will not withhold information of the thieving rebels. They're not making a fool of me.
Captain, if you want peace, I suggest you withdraw this tax.
I can't do that. They must be penalized. I place Senor Vasquez in charge of collection. He's compiling a list.
Gracias, señor.
What is wrong with you, Papa? You look sad.
I'm filled with guilt, my son. When I think of our friends being taxed their hard-earned money just for a mistake we made, I do not feel good. All this trouble over a round brass pipe. Manolito, perhaps if we return the canyon,
Then the money will be returned to our friends.
go to the village. Tell the Capitan about the canyon. And if you cannot see him, tell anyone.
Está bien, papá, yo haré eso.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's you. What do you want?
I have come about the cannon, the tax.
Yeah, Canna Perdido tax. You see Senor Vasquez. He's in charge of that.
Senor Vasquez?
Yep. He has full authority. Go see him.
Senor Vasquez?
That's what I said. You take your problem to him. Now, vamos! And stay, vamos!
Senor Vasquez,
Yes?
I wish to talk to you about the Cañón Perdido.
You wish to pay the tax?
Oh, no, senor. I wish to return the cañón.
Now about this cañón.
Oh, I know where the cañón is.
Why?
I know where the cañón is. It is my thought that if the cañón is returned, then the people will get their money back. Isn't that the truth?
It is true. Where's the cañón perdido?
But it is buried in the mud, in the Mission Creek. You see, it fell off my father's cart.
You must take me to this place so I can be certain that you tell the truth.
Well, see, I'll take you to the exact place.
All right, come on.
You see, it was in the same place where I told you to be. But it was too deep in the mud, and you would have never found it unless I told you.
That's true. See, you cannot find it in the mud.
Now we will be returned to the American Capitan. And the tax money to the people.
The money will be returned.
Now, Senor Vasquez, I have another favor to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell the people that my father and I took the cannon. You see, we're not thieves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought you over here to find it. See, we don't want them to think bad of us.
It places a burden on me, this secrecy. But if you give me your word never to say anything about this cannon to anybody, I, too, will keep silent.
Gracias, señor. Muchísimas gracias. I will never say anything, ever. Now, I will go down there and take it out of the mud and bring it over to you.
Un momento, Manolito. You've done enough. Now we'll make the arrangements to have it moved. Now, you go home and tell your good father everything is all well.
Gracias, señor.
Captain Lippert, for peace in the community, could you ask Senor Vasquez for an accounting of the taxes?
Are you questioning my judgment?
No, Capitan. Just an accounting of tax money. As a friend, Captain, may I point out that taxation has not produced the missing cannon, nor has the missing cannon produced a rebellion.
All right. So it hasn't produced a rebellion. But what about the cannon? I had to make a decision, didn't I? Besides, they still may be plotting.
Oh, no. I believe whoever took the cannon either moved it for a prank or had some innocent purpose in mind.
That cannon, I wish I'd never heard of it.
And the taxation?
I'll ask Senor Vasquez for an accounting. Good. Sergeant!
Manolito.
What is it, Papa?
See for yourself.
Es el cañón perdido.
See, it has not been returned to the Americano, Capitan.
But Senor Vasquez, he promised me, and there will be no more taxes.
Senor Vasquez, he lied.
What are we going to do now? We are thieves.
No, my son, we are not thieves. Go quickly to Santa Barbara. Tell them of Senor Vasquez's dishonesty.
I will, Papa.
And I will dig the canyon from the mud.
Senor Vasquez,
Yes.
Captain Lippert would like to see you immediately. And bring the tax receipts with you.
Tell Captain Lippert I'll be there almost immediately. First, I must go to my office for the tax receipts.
What are you doing with that cannon?
I'm going to take it to the Americano, Capitan.
A likely story. You have stolen it. You're the one the captain looks for. He will be pleased that I have uncovered the rebel and the robber.
That is not true. You know it is not so. My son Manolito has told you the whole truth.
Lies. You both lie. But I cannot protect you any longer. Move away from that cannon.
No, senor. I shall return it to the Americano myself.
You want me to take it from you?
See, you must take it from me.
Looks like Senor Vasquez. What's he doing out here?
Papa!
I will be all right.
Are you?
Senor Vasquez has disappeared.
He rode off. What did he want?
The canyon perdido. It is gone. It was right there, Capitan, in the mud. Perhaps I can find it again.
Enrique, leave it buried. I don't ever want to hear of the Cannon Perdido again.
But the taxes, Senor Vasquez has said that it...
I think Santa Barbara has heard the last of the Senor Vasquez. As far as the tax money is concerned, vale 500 pesos.
The incident wasn't forgotten, however. In modern Santa Barbara, it is kept alive by two street names, Canon Perdido Street and 500 Street. In fact, for 10 years after the incident, there was a picture of a cannon and an ironic motto on the city's official seal. That motto was Senor de la Guerra's farewell to Luis Vasquez, Vale 500 pesos, which means goodbye $500. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. My story tonight is the age-old story of Romeo and Juliet, a pair of star-crossed lovers caught in the web of a family feud. Now, the families in this case were neighboring ranchers in Owens Valley, California, back around the turn of the century. Midway between the two ranches was a tree where the young couple met, which gives the story its name of Halfway Girl.
Ginny, my darling.
Gordon, I love you so. If my father were to find out where I was,
He'd what?
I hate to think.
Ginny, you're not a child anymore. You're over 21. You have a right to do as you please.
We've been through this so many times.
All right. Let's put an end to it. Run away together now, today. Find a preacher who'll marry us and start a
You know
life.
that's impossible. Your father would disown you.
All right, let him.
What about the ranch? It's been his life's work. What would happen to it?
I don't care.
You're all he has, Gordon. Just as I'm all my father has. We're caught.
Just because they hate each other is no reason why our lives should be ruined.
I don't even know what their feud is all about.
Neither do I. I asked my father once a long time ago, but he gave me such a terrible look that I never dared ask him again. A coward, that's what I've been. I'm going back to the ranch and face him now. Tell him my love for you means more than anything else in the world.
Oh, Gordon.
I want all of you, all the time.
Darling, when you talk like that, you give me courage, too. I'll go back and face my father, too. Tell him we can't be separated. He'll have to consent. If not, we'll elope. Tonight.
Goodbye, sweetheart. For now, meet me back here tonight.
Yes, Gordon. Tonight.
What's happened? He was breaking a new bronc and the cinch buster broke. Young critter kicked him right here. I'm hightailing it for the doctor.
Where is Pop?
Up at the corral. We was scared to move him.
Jake's going to fetch the doctor.
That's no use. Takes hours.
You're not going to die, Pop. Doc will fix you up.
I know better. One thing before I go, though. Promise me you'll never have anything to do with George Cluett or his tribe?
You take it easy, Pop. Don't try to talk.
Is it true you've met that girl of his? I suspicion so. But don't you dare marry her. You hear?
Why?
Her father's a murderer.
Murderer?
He killed my son, your oldest brother, Joe, before you were born. Promise me, no son of mine will ever marry a Cluett.
I promise.
Pop! Pop!
Father.
Oh, hello, Jenny. Just filling out the entries for the county fair on the 17th, and I've got your name down as the owner of Keno.
Father,
Oh, no. After all, you raised him from a bottle since birth. And you certainly are entitled to whatever he brings.
Father, there's something I wish you'd tell me. Why do you hate the McLeans?
Don't mention their name in this house ever again, Jenny. Do you understand?
No, I don't. And I want to know.
All right, I will tell you. That's the reason. Your older brother, Sandy, whom you never knew. Joe McLean murdered him
Murdered?
when he was only 3 years old.
Small child? I can't believe it.
It's true. We'd been down visiting to the J. Bar M Ranch. His mother and him and I used to visit back and forth in those days. Shortly afterward, he came down with typhoid.
Typhoid? But
We traced it to the milk from one of McLean's cows. Oh, there was no doubt about it.
that's not the same as murder.
Sandy died. McLean was responsible. I consider it criminal negligence.
You must have felt terribly.
What about your mother and me? How do you suppose we felt, losing the only son we ever had?
That's no reason for carrying on a lifelong feud. Accidents happen. Mistakes are made.
I hate Joe McLean, and I'll continue to hate him until my dying day.
Well, you're not going to ruin my happiness with your hatred. I love Gordon McLean, and I'm going to marry him.
Jenny, I forbid it.
You can't stop me. Nothing in this world can stop me.
Jenny!
I've been so worried. I was afraid something had happened.
Something has happened, Jenny. My father's dead.
Gordon.
Thrown and kicked by a bronc just a few minutes before I got home today.
Oh, no. Well, then it had nothing to do with what you were going to tell him about us.
No.
Glad of that. It's bad enough to have to marry against the wishes of one parent.
Jenny,
I had it out with my father, Gordon. I found out the reason for the feud.
so did I.
I tried to reason with him, but it just wasn't any use. He's convinced that your father was a murderer.
The other way around, you mean it was your father who was the murderer.
My father?
Yes, he killed my older brother, Joe.
Who told you that?
Dad did, before he died.
He was out of his head. What happened was that my brother, Sandy, contracted typhoid from one of your father's cows and died.
Well, that would be no reason for my father harboring such hate.
There's no reason for either of them. And I told Father so. I told him I was going to marry you in spite of it, and here I am.
Jenny.
Well, darling, I know this isn't the time we would have chosen, with your father just gone. But I can't go back now.
Oh, Jenny.
Take me with you, darling. We'll find someone who'll marry us tonight.
Darling, I don't know how to tell you this, but my father, as he lay dying, said...
What is it, Gordon?
He begged me. They were his last words. Promise me, no son of mine will ever marry a Cluett.
Gordon, you didn't.
He was dying.
Gordon, how could you? You can't be bound by such a promise. It's ridiculous.
Darling, please try to understand.
What about your promise to me? Doesn't that mean anything?
Honey.
All those wonderful speeches about loving me more than anything else in the world. Being willing to face the devil himself. Well, that's just where you can go.
So Joe McLean is dead. Well, maybe now he knows how wrong he's been after all these years about me and that kid of his.
What do you mean?
I only told you the first half of the story this afternoon, Jenny. There was a sequel to it. After Sandy died, I sort of lost my head a bit. Swore to McLean that I'd get even with him. Made all kinds of threats. A few months later, they found his only son, little Joey, lying face down in the creek that runs through the J. Bar M Ranch.
Drowned?
Yes. He was just a little tyke that had wandered off and fallen in. But Joe McLean vowed that I'd done it.
No wonder you never spoke to him again. I wouldn't have either. I'm on your side, Father. From now on, I'm all Cluett.
That's the way to talk. It all happened so suddenly, I hardly know where to begin.
Well, I can tell you one thing you can do that your pa was counting on. Go up to the county fair and see what they got to offer.
That's next week, isn't it?
17th.
All right, I'll do that. You come along, too. I'll want company.
Sure, boss.
All right, $2,000 I'm bid for this magnificent stallion from the Rancho Seco herd. $2,000. Come on, let me hear your bids now. This is the buy of a lifetime, this gorgeous stallion. $2,000 I'm bid. Come on, speak up.
2,500.
The gentleman bids $2,500. Do I hear a raise? 2,600.
3,000.
$3,000 is the bid.
4,000.
$4,000.
4,100. Are you crazy?
Maybe.
Do I hear 45? 44.
44. Let it ride. 5,000.
$5,000 has been bid. Do I hear any more? Going at 5,000 once. Going at 5,000 twice.
Just a minute. I've changed my mind, auctioneer. The horse is not for sale.
It's too late. You can't withdraw after the bidding started.
Then I bid $5,500.
You can't do that either. An owner can't bid for his own animal.
He's right, Miss Cluett. All right, the bid is $5,000. Going once. Going twice. Third and last time. Is that all? Sold to Mr. Gordon McLean for $5,000.
I'll write you out a check.
What were you trying to do? Make me the laughingstock of the whole county?
Nope. I just wanted that horse. I'd go on higher if necessary.
But why?
Maybe I just wanted to put my brand on something that once belonged to you.
Go get him.
No, let him go. Jenny! Oh, Jenny, come here! You old son of a gun, you.
Chino! Well, how did he get here?
Under his own steam. He just came tearing in here a few minutes ago.
Back in your own corral. Looks like he didn't like his new owner. Can't say as I blame him.
Young McLean will be fit to be tied. Losing a critter he just paid $5,000 for.
Serves him right.
Maybe we best send word by one of the boys.
That won't be necessary.
I thought this is where I'd find him.
Naturally. The homing instinct.
How'd you ever let him get loose? He broke out of his corral. Thanks to you.
Me?
Yes, for making such a pet out of him. You knew he'd break loose when you sold him to me.
I did not. Besides, you're the last man in the world I wanted to see buy him.
So you say. Are you accusing my daughter of trying to trick you? I wouldn't put it past her.
Why?
Clear out of here. Get off this property and never set foot on it again. I'll leave as soon as I get my property. I'll give it like count 3. I'll sue you for this, Cluett. 1. And I'll collect 2. Every last penny. You've got to do one of 2 things, Jenny. Either return the animal or...
Keno'd only break loose again. Besides, I don't like the idea of having the McLean brand on him.
Then return the money. Never let it be said that the Cluetts weren't honorable in their dealings, even with the likings of the McLeans.
Very well. I'll see that he gets his money back. Every last penny.
Letter for you, Gordy. From her. From Ginny? Her name's on the envelope. Good reading, huh? She's returning the money tomorrow morning. Here? At the halfway tree. Hello, Ginny.
Hello, Gordon.
I'm glad you suggested our meeting here at the halfway tree. It makes everything seem all right again somehow.
Everything is all right. I'm squaring my debt with you.
What's that?
What I owe you.
Pennies?
That's right.
What kind of a trick is this?
No trick at all. I'm keeping Keno and giving you back what you paid for him. In legal tender. Every last penny. 500,000 pennies all told.
They must weigh a ton.
3,400 pounds on our rank scale.
How do you expect me to get these back with me?
Oh, that's your problem. I got them here. With the help of 4 men in a wagon.
You think you're pretty funny, don't you?
If you'll sign this receipt, I'll be on my way.
Oh, no, I'm not signing that.
But I paid you in full.
How do I know? I haven't counted them yet. And you're going to sit here with me till I do. Every blessed one of these 500,000 pennies.
Why, that'll take all day.
That's just fine.
Possibly all night.
You've been here at night before. Come on, sit down. Here, make yourself comfortable. $115,001, $115,002, $115,003, $115,004, $115,005, $115,006, $115,007. $115,008, $115,009, $115,010, $499,997, $998, $999, $500,000.
Is it morning already?
Already? Longest night I ever sat through, or counted through.
Did you finish?
Yes. Here's your receipt. Paid in full. Goodbye, Ginny.
Goodbye, Gordon.
Good morning, Mr. Hendricks.
How are you, Gordon?
I've been waiting for you. I've got some coin I'd like to deposit.
Why, Peters could have taken care of it for you.
This is a little unusual.
Pennies?
That's right.
Well, I've seen a lot of piggy banks in my day, but I think that's about the granddaddy of them all. How long you been saving up, Gordon?
There's $5,000 worth in all. If I can have a deposit slip.
Oh, the cashier will have to count it first.
I already have, every blasted one of them.
Sorry, bank rules.
Oh, no.
Take care of these, will you, Peters? Come on, you might as well sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Thanks.
This wasn't part of your father's estate.
No. No, just a debt someone was paying off.
Oh. Say, speaking of your father, you knew that he had a safe deposit box here, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Most of his papers are kept in a strong box at the ranch.
This goes way back, 30 years or more. I'll get it out for you. You might like to look through it while you're waiting.
Thanks. These do go way back. What's this all about? Who's Jedediah Smith?
I don't know.
Being of sound mind, do hereby willingly give over to Joseph and Martha McLean my infant son for adoption, his own mother having died in childbirth on the wagon journey.
Go on.
And furthermore, agree to relinquish all claims upon the boy, now and forever. Signed this 12th day of March, 1877. My birthday. What does it mean?
Only one thing it can mean.
I'm that boy?
Without a doubt.
But why didn't they tell me?
Could be they didn't want George Cluett to know. You see, George wasn't lucky enough to have another son. He only had a daughter. Daughter? Hey, wait a minute. What about those pennies?
Oh, the heck with them.
I got your message. What are you up to?
Not a thing.
You said there was something wrong with the receipt. I can't see any mistake. The date, the amount.
The signature, that's what's wrong with it. It should be Gordon Smith.
Smith?
My name's not Gordon McLean. My parents adopted me when I was a baby. I found the papers today at the bank when I went to deposit those pennies. Oh, Ginny, if you hadn't given me those pennies, I might never have known the truth. You might have married someone else.
Gordon, are you trying to tell me
We
that...
can be married, darling, yes.
In spite of your promise?
Do you remember the wording of that promise? No son of mine will ever marry a Cluett. Well, I'm not his son.
Oh, Gordon. Gordon.
There are no more McLeans for your folks to hate. Just a guy named Smith.
And there's no more halfway girl. Just a girl named Mrs. Smith.
Well, there it is. The old Romeo and Juliet story. But this time with a happy ending. And you know something? I'll bet their kids save pennies. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. The story this time comes from a little known but critical chapter in our nation's history. Early in July of 1861, before the Battle of Bull Run, more than 1,000 men froze, then sweated, with poles and drums of shining telegraph wire, working around the clock to hang 'em high. In the troubled days following his inauguration, Lincoln was a tortured man. Unable to escape war, nothing was too small or too great to make victory swift and certain.
Mr. President.
Mr. Secretary of the Interior. The news isn't happy, Caleb. Defeats are in the making.
Then this news should help. Mr. President, with good luck, it won't be too long before the Union is linked from ocean to ocean by telegraph.
At last. Are the contracts signed?
Better than that. The work has actually begun. From the Atlantic, the telegraph wires presently run only as far west as Omaha. And from the Pacific, only from San Francisco to Sacramento. All this area, from Sacramento to Omaha, has no wires. And our only connection is the Pony Express.
But you say the work has started.
2 companies are hanging wire, Mr. President. The Overland Telegraph, working from the west to Salt Lake City. And the Pacific Telegraph is building from Omaha and will meet them there.
The subsidy the government voted, of course, goes to the first company to reach Salt Lake.
$400,000, Mr. President. Enough so that every man will work night and day to earn his share of the bonus. In the meanwhile, the Pony Express will continue to carry telegrams from the end of one wire to the end of the other, closing the gap just a little bit more every day.
Unless we are constantly certain of Utah's support and California's gold, the unions are lost cause. The telegraph is our only protection. Caleb, in the name of mercy, for every wife and mother, both north and south, see that nothing stops it. Telegraph lines must go through.
They will, Mr. President.
If we don't get some protection soon, Captain, we'll never finish. The Indians are tearing down our wire almost as fast as we put it up.
How do you know it's Indians?
Who else?
Well, with almost a $500,000 subsidy at stake, Mike Walsh and his Pacific Company could be out to stop you.
You don't think Mike Walsh is doing
Look, in
it?
this job, I'm like a policeman. I accuse nobody, I suspect everybody. Oh, here comes that Pony Express rider for your telegrams.
Yeah. I'd better get him. These pony boys don't take to waiting.
Howdy, Captain. Hello, McCarthy. Mr. Hudson will be right out with your telegrams. Well, how are things back the other way with Mike Walsh and his outfit?
Told me he's doing better than 6 miles a day when I last saw him.
When you last saw him, I had an idea it was that pretty daughter of Walsh's.
Sharon is at the camp helping her father. And she does, too. Operates the telegraph like a man.
Here you are, Lauren. 26 eastbound telegrams for Walsh's Wire. By the way, is Mike having any Indian trouble up his way? I mean, poles down, wires ripped out?
No. Guess he's been lucky.
Yeah. Very lucky. But not lucky enough to win that subsidy. Because no matter what he does, I'm getting to Salt Lake first. Now you tell him that.
Is that all the welcome I get after riding lickety-split just to see you?
The telegrams.
Here you are. 26 of them. You know, you're as bad as your old man. All business.
If Pa doesn't win this race, Lauren, I hate to
Got
think...
all the prize money spent, huh?
Oh, he's not taking any of that for himself.
Well, superintendent.
He made that plain right from the beginning. It's all to be distributed among the men.
Well, then why is he so all-fired anxious?
He just wants the satisfaction of beating Ben Hudson. The Irish in him.
Certainly takes a big load off my mind. I was afraid if your father collected that subsidy, folks would say I was marrying you for your money.
Not on my clean wash.
Sharon...
I better get these off right away.
All right, boys, let's get it off. Take it away.
Yeah!
I'll get that strung out. Are you going to take all day? We still got a mile to go before sundown. Ellis, you got your work blocked out for tomorrow.
I'd be a fine engineer if I didn't.
Hi there.
Well, that wasn't very cordial, Ellis. You didn't wave back to him.
Why should I? Everything was going fine around here till he showed up.
Look, Ellis, the pony boy seems romantic to Sharon now. Dashing, devil may care. But once the telegraph is through, what's going to happen to McCarthy and the other riders? They're out of work. They'll drift away like tumbleweed in a windstorm. Then you'll still be here with money in your pockets to afford a wife.
Yeah, if we get to Salt Lake City first.
No ifs about it. We'll beat Ben Hudson hands down.
All right, men, thanks. Get back to work.
Mr. Hudson, up by Round Rock. 3 of your poles are down.
I know, I just heard. Chopped down.
Tomahawks?
Tomahawks, nothing. White man's axes.
What do you mean?
What do you think?
Mr. Hudson, look. I know Mike Walsh, and I know his family. Well, Mike's a fighter, but he fights clean. Oh, he wouldn't pull a low-down trick like that. It was Indians.
Then how come they don't tamper with his line? Tell me that.
Different tribes east of here.
Indians over Indians.
Maybe scared them off.
If you're talking about that business of the electric shock, I tried the same thing, only made them madder.
Then it was Indians, you admit it.
I admit nothing except my wires are coming down faster than I can put them up.
Now, the Indians think the telegraph is bad medicine. You have to show them how it'll help them. That way, they'll learn to respect it.
No, you can't reason with those red devils.
I said show them. Now, you got a line up to Shoshone territory. You arrange to have their chief get on that end, and I'll get Chief Kopar of the Paiutes in here.
It's my work. We'll do it.
Chief Red Deer is at the other end now.
You understand what Mr. Hudson is going to do, Chief Kopar. He's going to prove to you that the telegraph is good, not bad medicine.
You show. We will see.
Now you give the operator a question to ask Chief Red Deer.
You say, how many moons is it since last time Red Deer smoked pipe with Kopar? Why have split tongue? Little Elk is son of my brother, but still young, has not learned yet. Indian and white man must give a little, so they can live side by side and gain much.
Chief Red Deer says, you, Chief Kopar, came to War Council he held 19 moons ago.
That is truth. Wire does not speak with split tongue. I see now why a rope express good for everybody. It carry messages more miles than smoke or drums. I make promise. Paiutes not hurt wire. Ever.
You wouldn't believe it. Old Kopar came there to prove the wire was bad medicine, and by the time he left, you'd have thought he'd invented it. Ben Hudson can really move ahead now.
It's plain to see which side you're rooting for.
Well, I don't care who gets to Salt Lake first, just so long as the line is finished.
Well, we can still give Ben Hudson a run for his money. Here, got that survey for me, Ellis.
It's in the office.
He's got some nerve kissing you.
He didn't kiss me. He just patted me.
I should have punched his face in.
You're not jealous.
Yes. Stop it.
Why, Lauren.
I don't like that song.
Rose of Alabama, I think it's very pretty.
I don't. It belongs to the South.
Oh, now you're being ridiculous.
I'm sorry. Well, it's just that... Well, the way things have been going, the Rebs whaling the tar out of us. At this rate, we could lose the war.
Ellis says it's only to be expected that the South would win at first. They've been preparing so long.
Oh? What makes Mr. Ellis Higby such an expert on the war? Maybe he should be in Washington telling Lincoln what to do.
Oh, come on now, Lauren. You can't get all in a dither every time you hear Ellis Higby's name mentioned. I think you better get some rest before you start your run back. You'll need it.
Well, Lauren, old Kopar's living up to his word. Not a foot of wire down in the past 5 days.
I'll tell Mike Walsh.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of myself for ever having suspected Mike. I guess I just had to lash out at someone.
Sure, I know. Well, I'll be seeing you, Mr. Hudson.
Take care, Lauren.
Good going.
You mean you think my father's responsible for tearing down the overland wires?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to. But since that's what you think, you're not only wasting my time, you're wasting your own.
The
fact that this fragment of box undoubtedly belonged to Pacific Telegraph means nothing by itself.
It was Walsh's powder.
Even so, it could have been taken without Mike's knowledge.
By whom, for instance?
You, for instance.
What?
No, not you personally, but anybody working for Pony Express who figures he might make his job last a little longer.
That was a bad guess.
Then, on the other hand, it could have been Indians. Or even Southern sympathizers.
Johnny Reb's here?
Enough to do this kind of damage.
Captain, I think I can get you proof nobody can question. One way or the other, you'll be hearing from me. Soon.
Well, Sharon, here comes your pony boy.
I don't want to see him.
Moving up again, huh, Mr. Walsh? First thing in the morning. We've strung 26 miles the last 3 days.
Well, at that rate, you're bound to beat Ben Hudson into Salt Lake.
I thought Overland was going great guns.
And they were. And now they're facing a shortage of poles, what with all that's been blown up lately.
Looks like your Indians didn't keep their promise to behave.
The poles were blown with black powder. I ain't never heard of Indians knowing how to use it, have you?
I wouldn't know. I don't go around making friends of the dirty heathens.
Has any of our powder been missing, Ellis?
Oh, couldn't be. I used the last of it blasting those boulders a few days ago.
Well, flapping our jaws isn't going to help Ben Hudson. It struck me as I was riding in here just now, Mr. Walsh. You have enough equipment left over to build clear through to San Francisco.
That's how I've kept the lead on Hudson so far.
Of course, once both lines are up, poles and wire won't be worth what they are today.
You have the gall to suggest that I sell our surplus poles to Ben Hudson?
No, sir. I was going to suggest that you lend him enough to tide him over till his next shipment arrives.
Are you out of your head? Why, for all we know, the Indians might tear down every pole we've got up. Then where would we be?
Same place Ben Hudson is, I guess. But your line in without his isn't going to help anybody. Well, certainly not the Union.
How much poles and equipment would Ben be needing?
Good train load?
Well, Mikey, you're not going to listen to him. Why, well, that'd be just like handing the opposition that $400,000.
Or helping Abe Lincoln end the war a little sooner.
Go on, Papa. We can give him half what we've got and still beat him to Salt Lake.
You're not an engineer, Sharon.
She doesn't have to be, Higby. Anyone can help win the war.
Sure. Like Sharon says, we can give Ben Hudson cards and spades and still beat him to the prize money.
And if we lose?
You can blame me. Come on now. Show me the wagons to be loaded for Ben.
Thanks for backing me up.
Well, I figure it'll take 2 days to deliver this to old Ben and get back here.
We'll be waiting.
You better be. Nellis, first thing I want you to do, take the flatbed down to the junction. Bring every bit of equipment we've got back here.
Yes, sir, just as soon as you've left.
Wasting this much time, we'll have to work 18 hours a day when I get back. Now, you two watch things. All right, boys. Let her roll.
Tell Jimmy to get the rest of the wagons rolling tomorrow.
Higby say where he's going?
No, just drove off. Getting supplies, I guess.
Junction's not that way.
No, that way.
Sharon, I take back what I said about your father.
So, it's someone else?
Yes, Higby.
Higby.
He just took off from here driving like Yehu,
That's right, on an errand for Papa.
heading west. I'm going after him, make sure nothing happens to that trainload of poles.
Oh, Lauren, you don't think for one minute...
I'm afraid Brother Higby's been the villain of the piece all along. I should have guessed it.
Why? What makes you think
Lots
that...
of little things that don't mean anything in themselves, like certain songs, that add them all up.
Are you accusing Ellis Higby of being a rebel?
All I know for sure is I'm going to follow him. And I'm going to watch him till those poles are safe in Mr. Hudson's camp.
Wait.
I haven't got time to waste. The rate he's driving, you pick up help and race around ahead of him.
I'm going with you.
They turned off here. What did I tell you? Making a loop around the wagon train.
We'll make camp the other side of the canyon. Get them across before night.
Right. Higby met some Indians here. Maybe 4. Looks like he rode off with them.
In the wagon?
Oh, looks like he did start here in the brush. Doesn't look good. You better stay here.
I will not.
I said stay here. Go ahead, Reb. Tell him. Tell him how you've been fighting the Union every mile of the way. But in spite of you, there's going to be a telegraph clear across the United States of America.
Confederate Ellis Higby was promptly tried and sentenced. And Sharon Walsh and Lauren McCarthy, they were sentenced too, to a long life filled with happiness and wonderful memories, not the least of which was a framed letter which graced the parlor of every house they ever occupied. A letter signed quite simply, "Gratefully yours, A. Lincoln." Oh, and in case you're wondering, the line from the east reached Salt Lake first by 4 days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. Long before it became known as the sport of kings, horse racing was one of the world's favorite pastimes. And nowhere did it enjoy greater popularity than in the Old West. This is the story of a fateful Nevada stake race, and I call it Half a Loaf. The story begins, however, not on the western frontier, but in far-off Virginia.
All right, I have $900. Going once, going twice. Sold to the gentleman for $900. Come, gentlemen. Now, just a moment. The sale may not be quite over. I crave your indulgence for just a moment.
Now what?
Well, there won't be much left after the creditors are paid. I thought you might have changed your mind about Country Squire.
Look, we went through all that before. This was my father's favorite horse, and he is not for sale.
Well, he's way past his racing prime, and he's lame to boot.
You let me worry about that. Besides, I'm taking him as part of my share.
All right, gentlemen. All right, the sale is over. I know you gentlemen are anxious to get away, so I'll hurry up with the accounting.
He was right, you know, about Squire.
I'm willing to gamble my last penny I can get him into shape by the time the track opens.
But you don't have much left to gamble with, Greg. And it costs a lot to ship a horse to Saratoga.
Well, I'll squeak through.
I'll tell you what. I'll pay half of Squire's shipping charges and half his keep till you find out whether that leg clears up.
All right, on one condition.
What's that?
Half of everything I win goes to you.
All right. But you get half of all the gold I dig up.
Are you still going to sit out for Nevada?
That's right. It's a deal.
Whatever either of us comes up with, we share and share alike.
Keep your britches on, Sonny. We'll get there.
Couldn't we go just a bit faster?
Scared there won't be no gold left?
No, but it's a long road from Virginia. Now that I'm on the last lap, seems I can hardly wait. We'll be at least an hour late, won't we?
An hour? Nope. Won't be more than 55 minutes late getting into church, Rick.
Mind now, Pee-wee. Give him a good rub down.
Yes, sir, Mr. Murdoch.
Mr. Murdoch. What's up, Dawson?
Well, boys.
Hi, Murdoch.
Well, we're making up a pool on how late old Charlie will bring in the stage today. Do you want in for $20?
Why not? I'll take 55 minutes.
Why, shucks. Old Charlie's nearly 55 minutes late already.
Oh, I didn't realize what time it was. Well, I guess that's one on me, boys. The stage would have to be practically within hailing distance right now, or I'd lose.
$55 minutes exactly. You win, Mr. Murdoch.
How does he do it? Well, now, wasn't that something? Sure pays a man to forget to look at his watch once in a while, doesn't it? Oh, sure. Well, thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Now, how about coming across to the saloon? The drinks are on me.
That's a good idea.
You did it again, Pop, after you promised me.
Well, I'm sorry, Helen, but I thought I had that Murdoch dead to rights this time.
Nobody ever has Sure Thing Murdoch dead to rights. Look, chances are he had it fixed up with old Charlie to bring the stage in at exactly 55 minutes late.
Now, you know that old Charlie wouldn't do a thing like that.
Well, he not only would, but he did.
Now, ain't I got troubles enough without a stranger butting in?
Sorry.
Oh, you're not butting in as far as I'm concerned. Look, it's time that the people in Cherry Creek learned a lesson about Sure Thing Murdoch. Why, he's won bets around here about everything from wrestling matches to how many crackers there are in a barrel.
Well, that still don't prove that Charlie was in on this.
Well, I rode up on the box with him. And he told me we'd be 55 minutes late getting into Cherry Creek. Why, he walked the horses along and then he speeded them up just to make it look natural.
Well, that still could be just one of those things.
Oh, one of those sure things.
All right, have it your own way.
Poor Pop. Oh, if you want something, I'd be glad to help you.
Well, I'm going prospecting. And I picked out this shovel and, well, the truth is, I'm too green even to know what I need.
Well, the mining stuff's all over there.
Oh. Well, I see you run the post office here, too. Oh, I sure hope there's a letter for me pretty soon.
Oh, sounds important. Your wife?
Oh, not married.
The best girl?
My brother. All the family I got left.
Well, if you let me know where your diggings are, well, I'll try to get word to you if a letter comes. That is, if you tell me your name.
Oh, sure thing. I mean, Lamont Carlyle.
Good to see you, Helen. You too, Pop.
Yeah.
Say, what brings you all the way out here?
Well, they had a little supplies to run the mine. You know, before you come along, I used to be able to make these deliveries all by myself.
Pop, you know why I came this time. It's lucky you sent us word you were changing your diggings to Sugarloaf Hill.
You don't mean a letter finally came?
On this morning stage.
You know, I'm the duly appointed postmaster at Cherry Creek. But my delivering that piece of mail wasn't good enough for her.
Good news?
Well, Squire, that's the thoroughbred I was telling you about. Is almost over his lameness. The very first week of the Saratoga meeting, Greg picked 7 winners. And,
What?
Nothing but losers ever since. In fact, he's flatter than a flapjack. Had to take a job in the stable. Yeah, I wish I could send him a little money. The truth is, I'm almost busted myself. Well, I guess I was dreaming to think I could find a gold mine.
Well, wake up and quit dreaming. I think you've been standing on one.
A gold mine? Right here, you mean I'm standing on it?
Well, what do you expect, Nuggets? I've done a little prospecting in my day. That looks like pay dirt. Just don't stand there.
But I...
Butts is for billy goats. Get your claim markers up. You can ride into town with us. And bring plenty of those samples for your sayers.
Not yet?
No.
Well, I went ahead and filed a claim already. You think I was a fool not to wait till you finished the assay report?
Yes and no.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, there's gold there, but it ain't high grade. Probably wouldn't run you more than $40 a ton. And you're going to have to move a lot of rock to make it pay. I don't think you'll ever make a go of it alone.
Well, I made my brother a half partner in the claim. I already wrote him to come out right away.
That won't do much good if all he's got is just muscles. You're going to need a lot of heavy equipment to get that ore out. You're going to need a stamp mill, all of which is going to take a lot of capital.
I see. Well, you suppose I could buy it on the strength of this assay report?
Oh, you mind get backing from any of a dozen different outfits in Denver or maybe even in San Francisco?
Well, I couldn't afford the fare there.
There's one local man that might be persuaded to loan you the money.
You mean you?
No, I was referring to Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm kind of afraid to do business with him.
He's the only man in these parts with the cash you're looking for. So, if you don't want to do business with him, you just ain't doing business.
Thank you.
Well, my friend, I've already got those papers all drawn up for you.
That's so.
Yes, sirree. You'll never find moss growing on any proposition Samuel T. Murdoch is interested in.
Well, it must be a pretty good investment. Because I understand you never back anything that's not a sure thing.
That's right. I like sure things. And that's what you've got right here, a sure thing. But the proper equipment, that is. Without it, you've got nothing but calluses.
All right, let's see the papers.
I'm only charging you 10% interest. And the payment on the principal won't be due for 90 days.
That's mighty soon.
And to save time, I've already made out a draft to the Great Western Mining Equipment Company of Sacramento. You just endorse it and get it in the mail right away, and you'll be able to make those payments like they were peanuts.
Yes, but according to this agreement, if I should happen to default, you get to mine.
Well, now, a man puts up $15,000, he's entitled to protection. Anyone else you'd borrow from is going to demand the same thing. Well?
Just pen and ink in my tent. Excuse me. You sure put one over on me, didn't you, Murdoch?
Well, I can't imagine what you're talking about.
This letter from the Great Western Mining Equipment Company. Informing me they won't be able to make deliveries on that equipment for at least 120 days.
Well, now, that's a real darn right shame.
Oh, I knew you'd cry your eyes out for me. Especially since the first payment on that contract is due you in 90 days. You found yourself a sure thing, all right, didn't you?
Well, now, how was I to know they were short of machinery?
Well, maybe this will refresh your memory. In fact, we had already informed Mr. Murdoch of the unavoidable delay in all deliveries.
Carlyle, I guess the rocks and the men are just a little bit too hard for you out here in the West.
What'd he say?
He's actually proud of the way he tricked me. And the worst part of it is, it's like he says, all according to law.
Well, can't you get your money back and buy the equipment somewhere else?
Not a chance. They already cashed the bank draft and entered the order. But there must be some law to protect people against a slippery customer like him.
No one in this town's ever had the courage to take Murdoch to court.
Maybe it's about time someone did.
Ready for the verdict. Litigants will rise. The evidence shows that you were deliberately deceived and done in. But we happen to have a principle in law, caveat emptor, which means let the buyer beware. Now, you bought the money, but this court can do nothing about the terms except to urge you to do a little more bewaring the next time you make any deal, particularly with men of the defendant's nature. However, an investigation of the title to the Sugarloaf Mine reveals that Lamont and Gregory Carlyle were not registered as co-owners, but as individual owners of a 50% share apiece.
Well, what has that got to do with it?
Under the law, Lamont Carlyle had no right to put up his brother's half interest in this mine. It is therefore the decision of this court that S.T. Murdoch can foreclose only on Lamont Carlyle's half interest in the mine, and that Gregory Carlyle's separate half interest shall remain free and unencumbered. Court is adjourned.
Well, you're pretty slick yourself, ain't you?
Call it that if you like.
Well, what I don't like is being in business with your brother. Where is he, anyway?
I finally heard from him. He's on his way here.
Oh, good. Well, when he shows up, send him around. I never was one to be satisfied with just half a load.
Well, he'll be here any day, Murdoch. But I wouldn't be too anxious to meet him if I were you.
Greg? Greg! Well, hello, brother. How are you?
Gee, it's great to see you, Greg.
Maybe you don't think I'm glad to see you.
Well, what took you so long? I thought you'd never get here.
Neither did I. But the only way I could cross country was on old Squire's back.
Good old Squire.
I just couldn't risk laming him again, so I took it in real easy stages. Every now and then I had to stop off to earn enough for grub. Well, hello.
You're Greg.
That's right.
This is Helen.
Well, I see you really did strike it rich up here, brother. And I don't mean just the Sugarloaf mine.
Oh, Greg, listen about the mine.
Out of the way, everybody! Get back! Out of the way! Get back!
Horse racing, Western style?
Sure thing, Murdoch style. He's not only got most of the money in town, he owns a horse that just won.
Well, I'd sure like to meet him.
You will. In fact, you're in business with him.
Me?
Here he comes.
Oh, this is my brother.
Well, well, the long-lost brother. You know, I actually thought he made you up. Slick enough to, you know.
We Carlyles don't consider being called slick a compliment.
Oh, well, now, I didn't mean no harm. Me, I like everything slick. Men and, horses. Never saw a breed like that before. What is he?
A thoroughbred.
Oh, my mistake, I guess. I never would have picked that horse for a thoroughbred.
Listen, mister,
Greg.
You were saying?
Never mind.
It's too bad he doesn't amount to more. I'm sort of running out of horses to race against Starhill. But, about the mine.
Later. My brother and I have some things to talk over first.
I'll be over at the saloon. Thoroughbred, eh?
Why wouldn't you let me take up his challenge? Or are you so set against betting?
Like I said, we got things to talk over.
Bring it through.
Yes.
Two. Yeah, 2-1, 2.
Well, boys, here's to settling our differences.
Sounds like you got an idea on the subject.
Sure thing. I mean, sign your half of the mine over to me, and I'll give you a percentage on all I take out of there.
No.
Well, you haven't even asked me what percentage.
Don't have to. Why, you'd rig the book so that even a mother lode wouldn't show a profit.
You just don't trust me, do you, boys? Well, do you have a better solution to the problem?
Yeah. A little stake race. Our half the mine against yours.
You mean Starhill against your horse?
That's right. What do you say?
Well, I'd want to sleep on it.
Well, I told you to back down, Greg. He only likes a sure thing.
Said I'd let you know in the morning, didn't I?
Well, suit yourself, Murdoch. Come on, Greg.
Where do you want us to start, Mr. Murdoch?
Start your race down at the rock slide. And finish up at this point up there.
That's about the right distance.
All right, let's get started. I'll be waiting down here.
Didn't even have to prod him, Mr. Murdoch. Star Hill had plenty left at the finish.
Good. How about that one?
I pushed him for all he was worth. He just ain't got it.
Heard Murdoch was looking for you boys. Over at the hotel.
Don't worry. He'll find us.
Speak of the devil.
Well, you boys changing your horse's shoes?
Just the 2 front ones.
Well, I must say he looks a lot sharper than the first time I seen him.
In other words, you didn't sleep too well.
How's that?
You said you had to sleep on it. I guess you had a bad dream and decided not to race your horse against Squire.
Matter of fact, I had me a mighty satisfying dream. Just real as life. I saw Star Hill breezing down Main Street an easy winner. Oh, you can't back down on me now just because you heard the mining equipment is finally arriving.
It is? Well, Carlisle never backed down yet.
2 o'clock this afternoon, then? Let's shake on it.
Let's put it in writing instead.
I already have. A winner gets all of the Sugarloaf mine, and this is something that'll hold up in any court.
Monty, you shouldn't have let Murdoch trick you into this.
Well, half of mine's no good anyway.
Get ready. One, two.
Can't understand it.
Well, it's not so hard to understand, Murdoch. We just tore a page out of your book.
Now, how'd you work it? What'd you do?
Well, I knew you'd never make the bet unless you figured it was a sure thing, which meant that you'd probably kidnap Squire and hold a test race.
That still doesn't explain it.
This will. We put these heavy shoes, weighing 4 pounds apiece, on Squire's front hooves for your race last night. That slowed him down. And this morning, we put the regular shoes back on. Here, nail them up over your mantle.
The winning of that horse race was only the beginning for the Carlisle brothers. For the Sugarloaf mine became one of the most productive in the history of the Old West. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. We Americans never tire of our covered wagon trade stories because they renew our belief in our national traits of faith in the future, courage to meet the unknown, the will to work, and the ingenuity to find a way out of difficulties. Now, for a prime example of these qualities, take the case of John Sager, who at the age of 14 became head of the house.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Come along, children.
Please, we'd like to stay here a minute.
Of course.
I want my mommy.
Don't cry, Louise, baby. I'm gonna take care of you.
First Pa gets killed, then Ma's gone. What are we gonna do, John?
We're gonna go to Dr. Whitman's mission in Oregon. Just like Ma told us to.
But maybe they won't let us stay together. Now that we got nobody to look after us.
We have so got somebody. Me. I'm head of the family now.
I heard them talking. They think you're too young.
Young? I'm 14. And they'd better not try nothing. I promised Ma nobody or nothing was gonna separate us. That's the way she wanted it, and that's the way it's gonna be.
What's the trouble, John?
Just giving the horses a rest, Captain.
Well, keep moving. You're holding up the wagon train.
Yes, sir. Go on, Frank. Ah! Come on. Come on. Ah, let's go.
Look, Catherine. Look what Mrs. Shaw gave me. Why'd she do that? Just because she thought we might like it.
You mean because you told her we didn't have none? I told you before, Elizabeth, you mustn't tell folks we're out of things. We gotta look and act like we can take care of ourselves. Otherwise, they're not gonna let us stay together. Now,
John,
Oh, howdy, Captain. Elizabeth was telling about Mrs. Shaw giving her this piece of salt pork. It was mighty kind of her. But it might run you short, and we really don't need it.
I'm holding a meeting right after supper tonight, John. I want you to be there.
What did they say?
Oh, I put it off till after supper. They tried to give me that salt pork back, and I choked up so I couldn't tell them.
Poor dears.
Well, we've got company. Howdy. How are you, men? Looks like you fellas come from the west.
We did. Freighting outfit. Heading for St. Joe.
Oh? You bound for Oregon? Most of us. Willamette Valley and John Day country.
Well, keep your eyes open. We spotted some of the Cayuse tribe in war paint about 2 days in front of you. They didn't give us any argument, but you can never tell about Indians.
No, you can't.
Won't you light and have some food with us?
Thank you kindly, ma'am, but we're going to camp down there around the bend, and we got to pick a spot before the wagons come along.
We'll come back tonight after we're settled.
We'll be glad to see you.
I hope we don't have any more Indian attacks. They've caused enough sorrow and trouble already, especially for those children.
As long as there's danger, that's another reason why there's only one way to deal with their problem. We've still got a long, rough trail ahead of us, son. Your horses are so worn they'll never be able to make it. Already you're having a hard time keeping up with us. And on top of that, you're getting low on rations.
And John, that baby needs a woman to look after it.
All of you children need someone to look after you.
So the only answer is we'll have to divide you up. One youngster to a wagon.
But all the wagons aren't going the same place, Captain. Why, after a while, we would be scattered every which way.
Well, that's something that just can't be helped, son.
Oh, please, being together is all we got left. Why, at night, the only way I can keep the kids from crying themselves to sleep is by remembering things. We talk about how it was back home in Missouri. About the dog we had and the kittens. And the fun we used to have on picnics and the 4th of July. And lots of other things that nobody but us knows. Please, being together is all we got left.
We wish with all our hearts, John, that you could. But none of us can afford to adopt 7 children.
Can we stay together just one more night?
Oh, yes, of course.
Frank, wake up. Frank, I gotta talk to you.
What's the matter?
Nothing. I got a plan.
For what?
For keeping us together. Now get up. We're gonna go to Dr. Whitman's mission in Oregon, just like Ma told us to. We'll hitch up when we get out of camp. Be sure and steer her now. Hang on to that brake rope. Don't let the wagon get away from you on this slope.
Dear Captain Shaw, I want to thank you and the other folks for what you've done for us, but we figure it's best that we go back to our folks in Missouri, so we have gone back to Missouri with the freighting outfit that left before daylight. Yours truly, John Sager.
Well, I declare.
They sure didn't make any noise in leaving.
Well, I guess they didn't want to disturb us.
They are too young to make a decision like this. I think we should go after them and bring them back.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think they've done the right thing.
So do I. Now they'll be able to stay together.
Well, we can't wait here.
Maybe we could leave the wagon and just take the horses.
They couldn't pack enough stuff.
How about throwing everything out? But what we need?
Even the empty wagon's too heavy for him to pull. I got it. I got it!
What? What?
The saw! Got stuck in a hole. Come on, everybody out. Come on. Catherine, get over there inside. Elizabeth, follow you, sister. Let's go. Come on, you over there. Let's go. That's it. Give me a hand pulling. Let's go now. Come on. We'll never get it out this way.
You think they'll scalp us?
Don't seem they'd stand there staring at us if that was their aim. I'm gonna show them we're friendly. How? You talk English? Wagon wheel stuck in hole. You help get out, me give you present. Oh, you like shirt? You help get wagon out, me give it to you. Give you present too.
Wagon.
I sure thank you.
Give me that.
Oh, well, yeah. Thanks. Well, now what kind of present do you want? Oh, no, you can't have the cow.
Not the cow. No, not Bessie.
Oh, no, we need her. No, it's a mistake. We have to have Bessie for the baby. I'll give you anything, but not Bessie.
Please. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get that cow back if I have to shoot him.
They might shoot you. Then what did we do?
Well, it'll be dark pretty quick. I'll tell them. Maybe I can get back when they make camp. Frank, you take charge.
I'm awful hungry, Frank. Gotta wait till John gets back. He's the one that parcels out the victuals. Can't we have a fire? I'm getting cold. Smoke from a campfire might attract too much attention. Put a quilt on you. I wish John would come back. He's been gone an awful long time. I wish we hadn't let him go. Maybe they got him instead of him getting Bessie. He never had no chance. against those big old mean old Indians. Poor John will never see him again. Poor John will never see him again. Stop it, all of you. Remember what Ma used to say? Never think bad, always think good. Now I want everybody to say, John's all right, and keep saying it. Ready? John's all right. 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 Who's there?
It's me.
It's John. John, he's back.
That's all.
You didn't get Bessie?
Nah, they took her to a big village. Man, it was swarming with so many Indians I couldn't even see her.
We've got to have Bessie. Without milk, Henrietta will...
Indians! It's white folks!
I told you I heard kids' voices, Keita. Here's a whole covey of them. What's your name, boy?
John Sager. This is my brother Frank and my sisters.
Where's the rest of your outfit?
This is it.
You are alone?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're in awful trouble. Some Indians took our cow. And the baby can't get along without milk. And we're almost out of food for ourselves. And we're terrible hungry.
And we're lost.
Well, I'll be a grizzly bear. Well, I'd sure like to hear all this come about, but first things first, which way'd them Indians go with your cow?
That way, other side of the mountain.
The UT Indian village, most likely. Here, unpack the horses. We'll make camp here. Get some food in these young'uns, Kim.
Sí, muy pronto. You gonna get Bessie back?
Well, I don't like to say positive unless I'm sure, little sister, but I'm going to try.
You want me to go with you? There's an awful lot of Indians.
Sometimes one Indian's an awful lot, boy. No, you stay here and take care of the camp. Help my wife with the work. Don't tell him what I'm liable to run into. Might not be back till morning.
Vaya con Dios. It's Bessie! 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 Good old Bessie. Yeah. Yeah.
Golly, mister, how'd you ever get her back?
Did some trading.
My husband, he's good friend with Indians.
Most of them, anyway. They ain't such a bad lot if you get to understand them. Oh, I got your shirt back, too.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, look! Indians! They're the same men who took Bessie.
Well, they're not going to get her back.
Hold on there, boy. They ain't after your cow. They come to ride with you.
Ride with us?
Yep. I'd do it myself, but it's real urgent I get to Fort Hall.
I don't want them riding with us.
They're going to help you, honey. That Oregon Territory is Cayuse Indian country. Sometimes they get pretty ornery. These UTs here ain't scared of them. They promised me they'd stick with you. Just do what they say and let them pick the trail.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
This is for the baby.
Thank you very much. Gee, it's sure soft and warm.
See, it will be cold in the Blue Mountains, and she will need it. Oh, God go with you and the little ones.
All right, Frank, let her roll.
Find a bunch of young'uns they ever saw.
What happened? Something about that blanket.
What do you suppose it is?
I don't know. But whatever it is, we're gonna put it out with him. Cayuses can see it from now until we reach the mission. Well, here it is, the Whitman mission. Come on. Let's go everybody out. There we go. Let's go. You next.
Well, what have we here?
Are you Dr. Whitman?
That's right. This is my wife, Mrs. Whitman.
Howdy. I'm John Sager, and this is my family. Ma told us if we come here, we'd be taken care of.
You're just as welcome as you can be.
Where did you get this blanket?
Trapper and his wife gave it to us. Some Cayuse, they were gonna scalp us. And when they saw us, they rode off.
This Trapper, was his wife a beautiful Spanish girl?
Yeah, pretty as a picture.
The chief of the Cayuse tribe gave him this blanket for a wedding present.
Is that why they didn't scalp us?
Without a doubt. This Trapper friend of yours was Kit Carson.
Kit Carson? Gee.
Kit Carson, gee.
And that's the story of the orphan Sager children, whose determination to stay together carried them all the way across country to the Whitman mission. And this is Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington, near the site of the old Whitman mission, built as a memorial to Marcus and our sister Whitman. and the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. The news of President Lincoln's assassination in April of 1865 shocked the nation to its very depths. No man in all our history was more universally mourned, and no one more bitterly hated than the man who killed him. Feeling was still running high 6 months later in the mining camp of Downeyville, California, which is the scene of this story of his brother's keeper.
Pick it up. I said pick it up.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the theater. I've played here before. This is a return engagement. Allow me to present myself.
I know who you are. It's best you get back on that stage and get out of here. You're not wanted here.
You're speaking for yourself?
I'm speaking for the whole town. I live here.
Who is he, Pa? And why does Mr. Rogan want him to leave? Pa?
That's the brother of John Wilkes Booth, the man who shot Abe Lincoln.
Sorry, sir, we're all filled up. Perhaps later in the day when the afternoon stage is left. Not a chance, mister. May I leave my bag while I attend some business down the street? Thank you. It's all right, Sheriff. I've rented the theater for tomorrow evening. My manager made the arrangements by mail.
Look, Mr. Booth, there ain't no law says you can't put on a show in this town, but take my advice, don't try it.
Why not?
No use stirring up trouble.
Trouble?
As a peace officer, I aim to keep things peaceful.
Oh. The man that came in with me on the stage this morning has been talking.
Now, Height Rogan swings a lot of weight around here. Give it up, mister. No show's that important.
To me, it is.
Oh, don't say I didn't warn you.
I told you before, we're all filled up.
I came to get my bag.
It's over there.
I should think he'd change his name. I should think that...
Come on, son. Howdy, Mr. Booth.
Pa.
I'm Jeb Hayes. This is my son, Calvin.
Mr. Hayes? Calvin? Is there another hotel in the town?
This is the only one. I never knew this hotel to be filled up before. You're welcome to stay out at our place. We have plenty of room.
I'm indebted to you, sir.
I just have to pick up some supplies. Jeb!
I want to talk to you.
Well?
I always considered you were a smart man, Jeb.
I try to be.
Then you ought to know better than to get mixed up with a man like Booth.
I've got some supplies to pick up.
This is Height Rogan you're talking to.
You're doing the talking.
You know who he is?
I know.
Is your memory so short you don't remember a president of these United States? One of the greatest men who ever lived that was shot down
by John Wilkes Booth.
And you'd befriend a man from the same mold.
Edwin Booth never broke any laws or hurt anyone, Rogan. And if he had, it's still not your problem.
I say it is. I've got a big stake in this town, and I don't want it dirtied by a breed of murderers. I'm warning you, Jeb. Don't mix in something you'll be sorry for.
I'll be the judge of that.
It's gonna be hard on our backs, and worse than the horses.
No other way, son. Dig, spit, and pull.
I gotta talk to you, Jeb. Calvin.
Howdy, Mr. Dooley.
What's the trouble, Leif?
Hyde Rogan. It's got the whole town stirred up. It's about this Booth fella you got staying at your place. They don't like it.
You mean Hyde Rogan doesn't like it?
There's something eating inside of him, Jeb. Those eyes of his. They stare clean through a man.
Got work to do, son.
Pa, maybe...
Got land and cattle to tend. Appreciate you riding out, Leif.
Jeb?
What's the matter, Calvin?
Pa, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Well, don't you feel kind of ashamed having Mr. Booth right here at our place?
I'm honored. Edwin Booth is one of the greatest actors this country's ever had.
Is that why you invited him?
I invited him because he had no place to go, no friends.
Well, you can't blame folks, Pa.
You can't blame Mr. Booth either.
Well, John Wilkes was his own brother.
Remember that outlaw stallion Newt Wilson had?
Yeah?
Nobody could break that horse. It was bad clean through. Newt finally had to shoot it. But the mare that foaled that outlaw was a good, gentle animal. And the two colts she's had are just like she is.
But people don't like those two colts. They don't trust him.
In the same way Hyde Rogan feels about Mr. Booth.
I see what you mean, Pa. The only difference is the colts don't know it.
That's right, son. Getting pretty close to supper time.
I'll unhitch the team, Pa.
Mr. Booth?
Yes?
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Hyde Rogan has been stirring up the town against you.
There's a Rogan in every town, Mr. Hayes. There always will be a Rogan someplace, somewhere, keeping the tragedy of Lincoln alive. The name of Booth, an infamous thing.
No man has the right to become another man's conscience.
No. The devil takes care of that. I've had my share of him. Like a dull actor now, I have forgot my part, and I'm out. Even to a full disgrace.
Shakespeare?
It's a tragedy of Coriolanus. Are you familiar with the work?
No. I did see a performance of Hamlet once, right here in Downeyville, back in '52.
I was boy of 19. I played here with my older brother, Junius. It was the height of the gold rush. If the miners liked your performance, they showered you with gold pieces. If you disappointed them, they tossed you in a blanket. Downeyville was good to me. That's why I chose this place to try and find myself again. Last April, I announced that I was through. I would never make another public stage appearance. A man can't go on living in hiding forever while his debts accumulate.
I admire your courage.
That remains to be seen. Tomorrow evening will be the test. Whether I have what it takes to face the Rogans of the world. I'll give up the only thing I love, the stage.
Well, you can count on one man in your audience applauding.
2.
Shakespeare, Calvin.
Folks around here don't have time for much book reading.
Education doesn't always come from books, Calvin.
We got a horse for you outside, all saddled up.
Rogan sent you?
Yeah, Rogan sent us. Escort you back to town, onto the stage, and out of this territory.
What if I choose not to leave?
That'd be a bad choice. Boy, when the old man gets back, tell him he's got any complaints. He can take them up with Hyde Rogan.
You ain't the law. You can't come in here and...
Boy's got too much sass. That's the trouble with young'uns these days. Any objections, Mr. Booth? Come on, let's go.
Come back to get another axe. What happened? Where's Mr. Booth?
They're running him out of town.
Rogan?
We're waiting another man. Came here a short while after you left.
Did they take him with them?
Wasn't nothing I could do. They had guns. But I tried, Pa, I tried.
Did those men hit you?
I'm all right.
Did they?
Pa, please don't fight them. Pa, they'll kill you.
I'm against violence. Always have been. But when somebody takes a guest by force from my house, abuses my son, then it's time I did something about it. Can't you understand that, son? I'm riding into town. You stay here.
The stage leaves in a half an hour. Mr. Rogan already paid your fare.
I'm surprised he isn't here to see me off.
Well, now, he's a busy man. Well, Drew, I'll wait in there. Come on. To your exit, Mr. Booth. If I had my way, you'd go out on a rail in a pretty costume of tar and feathers. What's the matter, play act? You forget your lines? Fancy gold-plated words. Does some of the hogwash folks pay good money to hear you do? A right-thinking man needs only the good book. Nothing else. It'll make it lighter. Travel light. That's my motto.
That'll do, Wade.
You come for your guest, Mr. Hayes?
I came to find the man who invaded my home and assaulted my son.
Invaded, assaulted. You talk like a bloody play actor yourself.
Quiet, hold it. Now, Rogan promised me there'd be no rough stuff.
Give me that gun.
You a party to this?
No, just aiming to keep the peace. Till the stage comes. You will be on it, Mr. Booth?
Do I have a choice?
Well, it's a free country. I suppose it's up to you.
There will be a performance this evening at 8 o'clock. You're invited, Sheriff. How's the house?
It's early yet.
Any sign of Rogan?
No.
Good.
What is it?
Rogan.
Come on.
What's your hurry?
Oh, I want to get a good seat.
There's plenty of time.
Good evening, Sheriff. Beautiful night, isn't it?
What are you doing here?
There's no law against a man standing around, is there?
Now, look, Rogan, I don't want any trouble.
Why, Sheriff, there isn't any trouble. Never seen the town quieter.
Well, it's no use, Mr. Booth. You'll never get an audience the way things are. You may as well give up and go home. I'm sorry.
It's Hite Rogan, isn't it? Stopping people from coming into the theater.
He's not stopping anybody. He's not doing anything. But if Hite Rogan and his boys are out there, then people are too scared to come in.
Can't you do something?
What can I do, Jeb? Ain't breaking any laws. I'm leaving town tonight on business. If there's any trouble, you'll have to handle it yourselves. Your gun's over in my office if you want it.
Thanks, Roy. I'll be right back.
No. No shooting. Anything but shooting.
There won't be. The curtain's ready to go up, folks. Mr. Booth is waiting.
You can wait until hell freezes over.
It seems to be a place you're well acquainted with, Mr. Rogan, but you're not going to turn this town into one.
What do you mean by that?
A place where folks are afraid to call their souls their own.
Still meddling, huh?
Are you going to let a bigot like Rogan here bully and scare you into... Theater's open, folks. Unless you're still afraid.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but we're going in. Us too.
We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Now, I should like to recite one more passage. We are not enemies, but friends. We must be friends. Americans all. We have sacred ties of affection, which, though strained by passions, let us hope can never break. I earnestly invoke the cooperation of all good citizens for the effective suppression of unlawful violence and for the speediest possible restoration of peace and order, and through these, of happiness and prosperity throughout the country. This is not Shakespeare. These words were written by another great man, Abraham Lincoln.
On January 3rd, 1866, Edwin Booth made his official return to the American stage at the Winter Garden in New York City. But the way was paved. The real test met. 3,000 miles away in a California mining town.
চোখ বন্ধ।
আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। কি কইতেছেন আপনি? কি কইতেছেন?
গায়ে হাত দিছেন কেন?
গায়ে দিও মানে গায়ে দিলে কি করবে? একদম
করতেছেন তুই তুই
তুই গায়ে
তুই আমি আজকে শেষ কর। তুই টাকা দে আমার টাকা দে।
তোরে আজকে বই
না কোন রাস্তার মধ্যে আইছেন ভাই? এই এই আপনি কারে করছেন? হ্যাঁ
আরে ভাই আপনারে কই নাই। আমার কল দিছিলাম, আমি কল রিসিভ করতেছিলাম, আমারে কইছি।
আমারে কোন মানে? এই আপনি নামেন তো নামেন। আমি যাব না, আমি যাব না। আপনি কি কইতেছেন? হ্যাঁ
আপনি যাইবেন না কেন?
না আমি যাব না। আপনি আপনি নামেন। আমার টাকা দেন, আমি যাইগা।
দেমু না টাকা। আমারে না নিয়ে গেলে আমি ভাড়া দেমু না।
আরে আপনি কখন থেকে এই অলি করতেছেন? আপনার আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না, একদমই সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। আপনি টাকা দেন, আমি যাইগা।
আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। কি কইতেছেন আপনি? কি কইতেছেন?
গায়ে হাত দিছেন কেন?
গায়ে দিও মানে গায়ে দিলে কি করবে? একদম গায়ে
করতেছেন তুই 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 গায়ে তুই আমি আজকে শেষ কর। তুই টাকা দে আমার টাকা দে।
তোরে আজকে বই
মোটরসাইকেল করে নিয়ে যেতেছেন ভাই? এটা আমার মালিকের মোটরসাইকেল ভাই। ভাই মোটরসাইকেল নিয়ে যান না।
গাড়ি থামলো কেন?
স্যার একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়েছে।
ভাই ভাই আমার একটু বাঁচান
স্যার,
ভাই।
পেটে তো ছুরি।
মনে হচ্ছে চিন্তাই কেস।
স্যার হসপিটালে নিয়ে যাব?
আরে পাগল হইছো? এত রাতে থানা পুলিশের ঝামেলা কে যাবে? চালাও গাড়ি।
স্যার কি অবস্থা? মনে হয় না বাবু।
ভাই যাই না ভাই। ও ভাই আমার একটু হসপিটাল।
Bố cho 50 tỷ của đeo gì nè, đúng rồi không? Của nhau thế bạn trẻ à? Rồi ra bao đây gì sao ở đây rồi đấy? Máy thấp nó xong yếu đét bữa sau nhớ muốn lợn đi rồi chạy ra anh bay tiếp vậy. Hết tiền rồi. Chuyển nhân sự là qua thần tích này, đóng mặt của đao Pandora và cho một hai gói mình lấy nhau ở đây có ánh sáng là chi, làm cái bốc đồ ánh sáng là cũng lớp tạm ngựa cái chế độ ít lắp đâu biết đâu bất ngờ đéo thể lên được nữa ấy. 7%. Tất cả chỉ là gần nồi dao thằng nhóc này. Hai người có 10 cú nữa. Rồi cứ bay kiếm chút kìa, xong rồi kia xôn xong rồi ra chính xác bay thôi. Hay là mình phải nâng cái lên lại. Ui buồn chưa? Trứng là ai xong để trứng vàng rao đầu tiên à? Buồn chưa vía? Vía buồn điếc. Anh dồn này. Rồi. Rồi, anh áo gì đây? Dạ, hổ cái. Cuối cùng nào đây ạ? Đừng nói đi cho xảy ra chuyện. Quá, hỏi giấc, như vậy. Cái dành ra nữa. Phía chị một dân tí mà. Rồi, vài bia đừng để cho nó gầy đủ. Giờ một chút nữa ấy. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 là mắc rồi. Đừng quên hết. Tại vì kiểm tra lại con bài của thầy. Đây. Biết ngay mà. Không phù hợp với sao ấy. Không phù hợp. Hình như là đánh ngay bay phát chuẩn luôn. Rồi. Không chuẩn vẫn thế. Không chuẩn đâu, vẫn thế rồi. Mình tưởng là thay nó sẽ chuẩn cơ. Ấy à, thêm một đồ mình sẽ là thêm này hai cung sự bình xét 2 cung không ai thèm lấy. Rồi có người lấy rồi, có người lấy xét rồi. Amu về sẽ này sẽ lấy đi lao 2 cái tay không vừa vậy. Đây, cái thú tượng luôn, vừa đúng cái thú tượng. Đẹp chi tiết vậy. 16 wow, thêm một củ không bài tiếp. Vậy thêm một lần nữa. Cách đéo này. Bay cao lên búa. Bay đấy. Xin được. Đổ đi xin, bắt cho bóng đồ rồi. Không. Hỏi sao? Hết. Có rồi dừng luôn nhá. Ê, không được. Phải đổi đồ ấy thầy ơi. Rồi đau điên. Xăm độc dược ai quan bật này may mắn là sự sấy ra sự đau ấy. Có một cái xanh. Rồi nó cắn. Rồi không nhỉ? Thắng được không? Quay đâu ra đây? À thua. Thắng này. Just game. Thôi thì ra thầy rồi chứ vậy. Bye. Yeah, we go. Chịu rồi, 21 nhân đều 30. Rồi phía được. Nó một cách để chơi. Uầy, nó đang x2 lắc sự kiện sự cục kéo này. Để x2. Cái này rồi, trả đồ ông cháu ấy. Xong. Bên thằng này ra cái đầu gì đây? Ra cái đầu ca gì vậy? Rồi, you get the force và tiếp đéc à? Nhau cái gì? À, vậy đầy quá. Đây là tiếng này nữa. Good. Vâng, job. Rồi anh nhà sẽ lên 30m đi. Rồi xong, 30m. Rồi bay thôi. Rồi lên rồi. Được. Hiện tại lên 30m, 31,5 lên chặt. Một nháy thôi cho biết thế nào là. Ôi thua này. Thua chết mất trích à. Thua thằng Saga bùi à. Cái này gì đấy? Tình nhân sử gia Satoshi. Đéo có lỗi mà lấy bắn đánh mà. Một cái gì đấy găng tay thần thánh sự không hợp lý đâu. À, được không nhỉ? Đéo được. Có 2 đổi xoay mà rồi. Lên 30m búa. Hút. Ok thầy ơi. Yes. Chưa ăn cái này nữa. Rồi quỷ á. Mà cái đâu rồi? Bông xanh à? Bông tím này. Tỷ cái à? Một tỷ cái này, đéo đỉ. Qua luôn mà. Nhờ, cộng mấy level liền mình đéo đỉ ấy. bình. Thế hài hước vậy. Tao hài với mày đi à? Sojin à? Không lý không? Là cái đồ phép rồi. Một đồ nữa cho Saza nữa xong. Là cần đồ điểm rồi. Cái đồ phép kia mà giữ siêu qua ấy đã sử dụng được nhưng mà anh cần tanh thôi. Nếu một đồ tanh. Thực ra một không giáo đâu, mình giữ một không giáo không biết. Không vào cuối cùng mà thì phải đủ bài mới nên chết. Để chết 10. Rồi lỡ tay rồi. Kiếm tiền như này. Bay một tỷ lần như này, kiếm tiền đi. Work was my life. Ô, rồi chơi tụi ánh sáng. Rồi bố à. Đây rồi ánh sáng sửa kinh kinh ấy, sửa gắt gắt. Đến nỗi thế. Ê, có cái gỡ đồ này. Sẽ ra một cái đồ khác bị sự gỡ. Yes. Một đồ ánh sáng như cây xa. À, từ từ dồn cây xa. Đéo ra cái xa, có ai lấy cái sao? Chỉ đéo dồn ra cái xa hay khóc. Sao thắng? Đến đây là mắc ở 34 củ. Wow, ngày xưa cần bao nhiêu? 34 củ. Ui đáy sâu ấy, 1,5 tỷ mới đã qua cái kia. Và reverse tận 2 lần nữa. Thế là một lần 750 tỷ nữa, với cả một lần nữa phải chắc là phải 1.000 tỷ, 1 trillion. Cái gì? Được anh trên đi mở trứng cái này, em mở trứng này xin đấy. Ủa khỏe đấy. Mấy ngày đốt hết tiền rồi, đốt tiền chết. Chết 8 mà. Để chết 9 đây. À chết 9 tao đốt tiền mình chút 9 máu anh vẫn bình thường. Được rồi. Mày đi, cũng lấy 9 đâu. 200 máu tạm thời, cứ ra xua đâu rồi. Thế vẫn át chốc đi này, cái xa này. Đây luôn đi. Cái xa 2. Không để bọn anh sống dai được. Dám mua lá với thầy. Đéo lắm mà không. Tờ heo. Cái này lắm đéo gì nhỉ? Nhớ cái đéo gì cơ? Budia. Budia quẻ. Kia đâu? Kia ta? Chung bố à? Budia đâu? Được, bố xếp bài. Cứ bay đi cho anh nhá, cứ bay cho anh. Đây. Anh xếp bài à? Đéo ai cầm Budia. Cắt dao. Chỉ thôi cắt dao. Bật lấy may mắn sự kinh ấy. Nhé cái xăm một vào. Ui đau đấy. Không phải đau điếc. Rồi thầy tăng tốc cho em. 34M thì yếu nhở. Không mới yếu điếc. Trên tay pet cũ à. Giờ đi con pet này. 93 cũ, 30 cũ pet sự kinh. Xa ra một cái đồ thủ xinh đẹp đấy. Còn không được. Em lấy ra đồ thủ rồi. Sao đâu. Nhưng mà quả trứng cái 30 củ mở được 3 quả. Là mở ra xì luôn sự kinh ấy. Con này yes 200 triệu còn xử theo à, em cũng biết đi yes úp ra mà bay và bay bố còn tốc luôn từ đầu cho con nhé. Ok con ơi yes. Ui cái này ánh sáng không giờ lắp đồ quá. Lắp đồ tanh à. Khi xong được giờ rồi thì là yếu ấy. 33 máu cái sống được mất còn một mạng là 2 trong một thôi. Ui quá nè. Bây giờ 50M bàn 50M bám này sao rồng à. Mất đi đâu. Đeo Woody ạ. Rồi mày đi. Sao? Như thế đó vẫn là chốc của anh nữa, vẫn là chốc. Ui Woody. Anh Woody. Em yêu anh lắm. Đây rồi, anh yêu rồi. Đi rồi. Cái con bài đéo gì ấy nhở? Sao từ một chỗ? Con bài gì? Ui Ilava. Rồi con phát lũ sàn. Ôi. Nhầm là Ilava. What giờ cấp 4 ạ. Lilia 3 nếu đánh vừa tới Lilia 1 thằng có thằng đi qua Lilia 1 xong. Game leader à? Nó rời